Merry Christmas to you all, wherever you are. Whether you're spending Christmas with family or alone, may good cheers come to you. I hope today's message will empower you to be proactive and to share love and compassion with people who are spending time alone at Christmas. That today's message will help you to be proactive this year and in the future to spread out your love. There are people out there that need family, that need celebration, not alone, but with connections, loving connections. It's about celebration. It's about having a good time. It's about relaxing. And I would like to ask you whether you have ever spent Christmas time alone in a foreign country as an international student or as a regular foreigner, or whether you know someone who has spent Christmas alone in a foreign country, or if you're just curious to know about how the lives of people is when they spend Christmas alone. This may be an eye-opener to you. In this video, I'm going to share my life experience as an international student and how I spent 3 Christmases alone. Actually, and I turned it around. I was going to spend it alone and I turned it around. And I'm gonna share five ways that you can handle this situation if you find yourself in it. So hello and welcome to African Living Abroad. I am Jamhuri and I'm here to share my international experiences, build bridges between cultures with the hope of making the world a better place. And I consider myself a social observer, a commentator of social events, an interpreter of these events, and a storyteller. So how do international students end up spending Christmas alone, you may ask? I believe that it's because at the end of the semester, after the exams, every student of that country, in my case, I'll talk about Canada, and everybody packs and leaves to their family. And the friends that you have spent time with for the last, since September, they never really think about inviting you. Everybody has their plans. The professors have their plans. It's the end of a tiresome semester. And in my case that I refer to, I do not remember later on in life when I moved to Manitoba that somebody asked me how I was going to spend Christmas. And before I continue, I would like to thank 2 families that hosted me during my first year, my first Christmas in Canada, in British Columbia. You know who you are. I spent a wonderful Christmas with you and I was treated like your own child. Thank you so much. Thank you. And the second semester, the second Christmas, I was invited by a dormmate, okay? And we shared the same dorm, and she invited me to a home in Edmonton. Her parents paid for my ticket to go and spend Christmas with them. And I thank you, I have not forgotten about it. It is when I moved to Manitoba in Winnipeg that I started to experience hardship. And my first Christmas after arriving in Winnipeg, everybody left, as I explained before. And I found myself in an apartment within a big dorm. And it was a very big hallway. And I was going to spend time there alone. It was horrifying, a very horrifying feeling. And I told my roommate, former roommate in British Columbia. And again, I want to thank you, my former roommate. You know who you are. She flew right away from British Columbia to come and help me deal with this loneliness. And she arrived in this big dorm and she said, there is no way we are going to spend this Christmas here. I have friends in northern Manitoba, a small community, fishing community called Matheson Island. And so she connected with that family, and the father of that home came, drove all the way to come and pick us up, and we spent Christmas with them. Now, Christmas meal, guess what it is? It was moose meat. Moose. That was quite an experience. I want to thank that family that invited us over. The second Christmas, I was doomed to spend alone. And everybody packed, and I was sharing an apartment with a lady who moved to see her family in Calgary, in Alberta. And she was so concerned about me spending time at Christmas. And she asked if she was a classmate, asked if she could let the professors know that I was going to be alone and to invite me. And I said, no. I'm not going to be a third wheel. I'm not going to be an afterthought. And at that time, I had a lot of pride, personal pride. I didn't want to, feel that I did not count as a number one. And later on, to just be, to make people feel better, they would just have me over. And I said, no, do not let them know about it. And so I spent that time alone. And what did I do? I thought a lot about my family. I grew up in Kenya, and every year at Christmas, we had a wonderful time gathering. And it was a farming community, and everybody comes around to visit. And there's food for everybody. There is tea or chai without an end. And I really missed my family. And after I was done feeling sorry for myself, I just, when you feel sorry for yourself, you got to make sure that it doesn't go too deep, or you fall into the deep end. And I decided I was going to make a meal for myself. And so I did. And the next day, it was okay, I had to accept my lot. And the third time, I lived in my own apartment with a roommate, and she left to be with her family in another province. And I thought, this year I'm gonna do something different. But I did not know what until the last minute. I believe that was on Christmas Eve. I called another Kenyan friend and asked what they were doing, and they were gonna spend Christmas alone. And I inquired from her if she knew of other students who were spending Christmas alone. And she said, yeah. And I said, I want to invite everybody to my apartment. Pass the word around, call people, let them come and bring something to share, something we can eat together. I'm going to make a soup and some chapati, okay? Nothing special, because we students, we never really had a lot of money. So that Christmas, I had a full apartment of people that were happy, that were lonely. We threw that party together, and we sang, and we enjoyed our time. We laughed. And after that, I stepped back at the end of that, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. That was, and so that was the last time that I spent Christmas alone. And afterwards, I moved to Germany in the next chapter of my life. And that was a time of reflection for me, to think about what my life in Canada. And the next few Christmases, when I'd settled down, I remembered lonely people at Christmas. And I made sure that I invited some people who I knew had no family around. And that was really amazing. And I made sure that I invited them early enough so that they don't feel that feeling of being an afterthought. And later on, I invited my neighbors, a couple that was from a different province and was spending time alone, that couple with a small child. And, I made something out of it. And what I want to say right now is this that lonely Christmas, that home alone feeling at Christmas, taught me a lot of lessons. It taught me um, a lot about my relationships with with my friends, with my Canadian friends, with my host family, and try to decipher why would people claim to be your friend and then desert you at Christmas, and they don't even know where you're going. They don't even ask. So what are you doing at Christmas? And I think I concluded that many people, and you might agree with this, that you might, as an international student, you might meet people from the host country who have never had an international experience. They have never traveled, they have never lived in another country, so they don't think about these things. And I think too that Canada, like many Western countries, is a country of individualism. You think about your own needs, your own family, and that's it. We as Africans, we are communal. We are community people. We think way far beyond ourselves. We want to make sure that everybody is okay. And so I discovered those two things. And and it was, and after you leave the country you are in right now as an international student or as a foreigner, you will spend a lot of time reflecting on the things that happened to you, the good things and the not so good things. And you will try to figure out why it went wrong for you, especially the wrong things, because you cannot really move on in your next chapter of life if you have this baggage or of a lot of experiences that were never really resolved. And that's what Germany did for me. It was a country of reflection, reflecting back to all the things that happened during my international student times. So, what are you going to do this Christmas if you find yourself home alone? I would say one thing. The first thing, acceptance. Accept that you're lonely. Accept that you've been abandoned by your friends of your country, your classmates. Accept it that the dean of students of your university or college never cared to make arrangements for you, or your professors, that they never considered this. Accept it. And you can get angry about it. You can cry about it. Allow yourself to feel really sad about it. But do not harm yourself. Do not harm yourself. You can also reflect to your own family, your own country, how you spent a lot of Christmases, because memories of your country are things that really will help you to bear with the life in your miserable situations. For me, I can say that my experiences of my childhood experiences, and I had a great childhood that I'm really grateful for, because not everybody has a happy childhood, but I had a happy childhood, and I can remember my life from as far as seems like 5 years old. And I would replay that life over and over when my life was very painful as an international student. And I would think about Christmas. It's almost like a meditation, closing my eyes and traveling. And I have a pictorial memory, traveling back to my home country during Christmas time, hearing in the countryside, my siblings coming, everybody coming, and hearing the sounds, hearing the songs, dancing in my heart. It was really like I travel a lot in my mind. So you can do the same. And after you've done all that, throw yourself a party, a pity party, and enjoy that. It's only one day. Usually it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. By the December 26th, you'll be feeling so much better. And I want to say, no matter how sad you are, please have some self-control and help yourself not to go into the deep end. There is a measure, okay? You can be sad up to that point, or maybe up to -1, -2. Don't go way below. And you have the power to flip that around. It's like a gauge, okay? Because sometimes when you go up to, let's say, -10, it gets deeper. It gets harder to come up. and do not harm yourself. It is not worth it for you and for the people in your life, in your family, in your home country. You will get through this. There is always a lesson to learn. And now I can tell you all these difficulties that I had as a foreign student. At that time, I was so miserable. I can tell you, you understand the pain. But they serve to strengthen me, to grow me, to mature me, to make me a better person. And I have lived to tell. That's why I'm telling you this story. Number two, you can invite yourself to a family. If you're feeling so lonely, maybe you can, if you dare to do that. And I'm sure, I can almost guess you will not do this, because I don't know if every international student has that pride like I did have, but what you can do if you don't invite yourself, make sure that the next year when school resumes again, maybe talk to the student association of your university, of your college, talk to the dean of student who takes care of international student affairs. Let them know what happens to students at Christmas time. That is a very difficult time for you, and you need something, some sort of a program, some sort of a dinner, and you need to be proactive. That is a theme of this section of this video, is being proactive. Do something about it. Or you can reach out to your community. In every city, there is a community of foreigners from your country, and tell them I need a place to spend Christmas. And I'm sure that if you dare to do that, you will end up with a family. So that was not an option for me. I was not going to run after people and ask to be invited. But you can try. It could work. Number three, which is the most important, is do something about it. Look around. There will be other international students that are lonely, that have no idea. But it takes only one person to come up with an idea, and everybody else will jump into it, and you can have a wonderful time. And I would say you don't need to restrict it to people from your country. Invite other people that are lonely, okay? And later on in your life, I'm sure that you will carry this forward, this experience, and be compassionate to all those that do not have a place to spend at Christmas. Those who are home alone, carry it forward, because those are the lessons. Or you need to listen to your heart, okay? Don't let me tell you what you can do, but listen to your heart and see what you can do at Christmas for other people around that time. And I want to close by saying, later on, when I returned to Canada, I got a job as a social worker for immigrants. And through this as work, I, with other workers, we were able to create an international Christmas event where we invited all immigrants and non-immigrants to come and attend an international Christmas, where everybody brought food to eat together, where people had could present songs and dances, whatever it was from their country. And this was, by the way, the beauty of this was also multi-religious. It was not just restricted to Christians, even though it's a Christian holiday. And I was so moved, because I have a Christian background, to see that other people came to that event. There were Muslims, there were Hindus, there were Buddhists, and many others. And that they felt comfortable in our environment to celebrate Christmas. That helped to expand my worldview, because I thought to myself, and this is one way that I'm saying this job really made me a better person, dealing with people from different countries. I asked myself, would someone from a Christian background, dare go to celebrate the event of other people from other religion? Let's say a Muslim holiday or a Hindu holiday. And it was very, very hard. And I realized how intolerable I was, that no, I wouldn't have. But because people that I just mentioned were also part of my friendship. They were my clients, but we had also a friendship. And that they reached out and crossed that boundary and came and celebrated Christmas with us. It really moved me, and it broke a very big barrier in my life. And to say, yeah, you can do that. And I am proud, or I don't know, I'm happy to share with you that I was invited one time to celebrate Ramadan with the family, the breaking of the fast around 9 p.m. And I went to that home and spent a wonderful couple of hours until past midnight with women from Pakistan, from India, from Nepal, from Libya, from Bangladesh. And English was a barrier, but that was not a problem. We communicated with whichever ways we can. And when women come together, they have ways of communicating. And that helped me become a better person, to cross a barrier and to say, these people consider me a good family. They call me family, and they invited me. And I said yes, because they showed me that they crossed the boundary. They showed me that they were willing to cross a major boundary, a major religious and cultural boundary, to invite me from a different culture and from a different religion to go and celebrate with them. And I want to also say that recently in November, I was invited to go and celebrate Diwali or Diwali with friends. That is celebrated by people from India, and it is a festival of lights that has a theme that many religions, even the Christian religion, would understand. It is celebrating light over darkness, good over evil, and ignorance over, celebrating knowledge over ignorance. And when you think about these things, you got to measure with what you believe. And for me, it was not a problem at all. And again, I enjoyed being with them. It was a really wonderful time. So I would like to say that the international experience, the international student experience, is there to broaden us, to broaden our worldview, to make us better people, even during the most difficult experiences. It would be very sad for us to go back to our home countries and still be the same people that we were. But I doubt it that we will be exactly the same people. I would say allow yourself to be open, learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn, and allow them to mature you. And as you go through these experiences right now, they may be very painful because you are a beginner. You are entering an experience. For some of us, we have lived through that and we have survived to tell. And this is the time to share. And I give credit to one of my mentors that says, experiences in life, you learn it, you live it, and then you give it. So I'm sure some of you watching this will have stories to tell in the future. So I want to wish you a Merry Christmas for all of you that are celebrating Christmas, whether you are alone, whether you are family. Enjoy it the best way that you can. And in the New Year's, we'll be here, we'll be sharing, we'll be seeing you, okay? So if you like this message, if it was even an entertainment factor for you, I would encourage you to comment on it. Let me know, or share what your experiences have been at Christmas. Like this video, give us a thumbs up, and share it with others so that they may benefit from it. Share it with your families so they can understand the experiences that you're going through. Until next time, I believe we'll see you next year. Bye for now.